In January 2024, on a Tesla earnings call, Elon Musk gave a warning about his own competition. He said that without trade barriers in the way, Chinese car makers would pretty much demolish most other car companies in the world. 2.5 years later, in June 2026, the third best-selling vehicle of any kind in Australia wasn't a Toyota or a Ford. It was a BYD, a Chinese electric SUV built to beat the Tesla Model Y, and it's now hunting Musk's own car. By the end of this video, you'll see how close his prediction came to true in the one market with nothing to stop it. The warning. Musk did not say this about a single rival brand. He said it about the entire industry, including Tesla. On that 2024 call, he called Chinese automakers the most competitive car makers in the world. And then he added the line that made headlines, that without barriers in the way they would flatten almost everyone else. It was a strange thing for the head of the world's most famous electric vehicle company to say out loud. Most car bosses talk up their lead. Musk described the flood coming for it. And he had a reason to. The brand he was pointing at, BYD, is now the world's largest producer of electric vehicles, bigger than Tesla in raw numbers. It builds its own batteries, and it even ships its cars on its own fleet of cargo vessels, so it controls the whole chain from the factory floor to the dock. That's a competitor that can set its own price and undercut almost anyone, and the reason the threat mattered is simple. Tesla builds one thing better than almost anyone, the mid-size electric SUV. That's the Model Y. And the mid-size electric SUV is exactly the car China aimed at. The car built to beat the Model Y. That car is the BYD Sealion 7. It's a mid-size electric SUV, about 4,830 millimeters long, which makes it slightly longer than a Model Y. It lists in Australia at $54,990. A Model Y starts around $58,900. So it's a little bigger, a little cheaper, and pointed straight at Tesla's bestseller, the way a store brand sits on the shelf right next to the name brand for a few dollars less. In the first half of 2026, the Sealion 7 was the second best-selling electric car in all of Australia, with 12,516 sold. The only electric car ahead of it was the Model Y itself, on 20,396, and it got there fast. The Sealion 7 more than tripled its sales in a single year to reach that second spot, growing about 233% while it climbed. A year earlier, most Australians had never heard the name, and it wasn't alone. Behind it came the Geely EX5 and the Zeekr 7X, two more Chinese electric SUVs, filling out the chart under the Model Y. In June alone, the Sealion 7 sold 4,730 cars, and it did something that would have sounded absurd 2 years ago. It knocked the Toyota RAV4 out of the way to become, alongside the Model Y, one of the two best-selling SUVs of any kind in the country. Not one of the best-selling electric SUVs. One of the best-selling SUVs, full stop, in a country that runs on the RAV4 and the Hilux. If this is interesting, hit subscribe, because the next number is the one that actually rattled Tesla. The brand Crown. Here's the turn. Look past the single models at the brands, and Musk's warning already landed. In the first half of 2026, BYD passed Tesla to become Australia's best-selling electric vehicle brand. Not close, passed it. And Tesla didn't even have a bad year to blame. Tesla's own electric vehicle sales in Australia actually grew about 66.7% over the year before. It sold more cars than it used to, and still lost the crown, because BYD grew faster and sold across a whole range while Tesla leaned on essentially two models. Then June made it physical. That month, the Sealion 7 was the third best-selling vehicle of any type in the country, behind only the Model Y and the Ford Ranger, and ahead of the Toyota Hilux, a work ute that had outsold almost everything for years. And across the whole market, BYD came within 243 cars of outselling Toyota, the brand that's owned the top of the Australian chart for decades. In share terms, Toyota held 13.7% of the market that month, and BYD held 13.5%. That's the width of a single busy dealership's month between the oldest name on the chart and a brand that barely existed here 5 years ago. And it isn't slowing down. GWM has committed to at least 7 new models in Australia this year. Zeekr has confirmed a large plug-in hybrid SUV. More Chinese badges are landing while the ones already here keep climbing. The gap Musk warned about isn't a one-time spike. It's a line still bending the wrong way for everyone standing above it. The catch. Before you decide what that means, there is a real catch. The Model Y still outsold the Sealion 7 as a single model, and it was not close. 20,396 against 12,516. Tesla's one car still beat BYD's one car by a wide margin. What changed is everything around it. The Australian electric market did not just grow, it exploded. More than 103,000 electric cars were sold in the first 6 months of 2026, up almost 120% on the year before. And BYD took most of that new volume with a full lineup of models, while Tesla fought with a pair. That explosion also had help. Australia hands out a big tax break on electric company cars, a fringe benefits tax exemption that has been extended out to 2029, and fuel prices climbed enough to push families toward anything cheaper to run. So the whole floor lifted at once, and the brand, with the most models sitting on the lot, caught most of the people walking in. So this is not Tesla collapsing. It is Tesla standing roughly still on a floor that doubled underneath it, while a Chinese brand filled the new space. That is a different story than the thumbnail version, and it is the honest one. The point isn't that Tesla's finished. It sold more cars than the year before, and the Model Y is still the single best-selling electric car in the country by a clear margin. The point is what Australia proves. When Musk said Chinese automakers would demolish the competition without barriers to stop them, Australia is the market with no barriers. And in that market, his own company just got passed as the top EV brand by the exact competitor he was warning about, in the exact segment Tesla built its name on. Because almost everywhere else, there's a barrier. The United States taxes Chinese-built cars past 100%, which keeps BYD out of America entirely. The European Union added its own duties. Canada capped the volume it lets in. Australia builds no cars, protects nobody, and waves them through at the border. So Australia is the clean version of Musk's experiment, running live every month. Strip away the tariffs and the protection, and here's what's left. One Chinese brand now sells more electric cars in the country than Tesla does. Its Model Y rival is a top 3 vehicle of any kind, and the company Musk runs is the one playing defense. He predicted the flood. Australia is standing in it. And the Sealion 7 is only one model from one brand with more already on the way. So here's the question. If a Chinese electric SUV showed up a little bigger and a few $1,000s cheaper than a Model Y, and the reviews were good, would you take it over the Tesla? Or does the Tesla badge still win? Tell me which one you'd park in your driveway and why.